Hello, hello friend, it's Tonton. In today's video, we're gonna cover a very quick topic is Romulus worth it? From medium spender to whale to rally leader, so mega whales. Like, should you spend your money on Romulus compared to everything else in the game? And if you do, what do you do on Romulus? Please understand that all experts are not equal when it comes to progressing them. If you look at the amount of XP and things you need, so at the top, that let's compare, let's do 3 of them because Agnes and Cyril, it's more or less the same, right? So here you have the total of hours you need in terms of research for the skills, right? So you see Agnes, Cyril is nearly 600, so that will be 600 days because the game allows you to do, oh no, that's hours, sorry. So that's a lot less days. But you see, like, it's 600, 500, 2.7 thousand, and that's 23,000 hours of skill to improve from Romulus, right? Here are the books. 22k books, 23.5, 74k books for Ogler. Romulus, 400k, 431k, right? That's crazy. That's, a lot more. That's nearly 5 times more. That's actually 6 times more than Olger. And in terms of shards, you see that these are sigils. Cyril is 275, Agnes is 275, Olger is 360, so it's not that much more. So maxing these 3 for medium spender is okay. Maxing Romulus is 1,820. So yeah, and that the point is the point you get if you push in SVS or that kind of event in that little thing. So you can see it's all in my Discord. And that's to unlock him to level 100. Then after that, you got all of these that give you some stats. So you see you get some attack, you get some defense. Every 20 points you spend, you get a bit some buff. So defense, lethality, you have 3 kind of trees of skill that you can unlock. And I believe that, see, like research, it's 10. So it's 10 every time, and each node is 20. So each node is 200. So, that's 1,000, that's 2,000 sigil, that's another 2,000 sigil, that's another 2,000 sigil. So that's another 6,000 sigil, at least, if not a lot more. And I don't really, I have yet to get a bit more information about that. So it's going to cost you insane money to max out our friend Romulus, because if you remember, on some of the best packs that you could get that are not yet available in the game, but we have the one that are not as good. We had the Dawn of Vision or something here that was for $5. You got 10. You got basically 10 sigils. So when you need 1,800 to level it up, and then you need another 6,000 to max out of everything. That's 8,000. Divided by 5. That's divided by 10, sorry. So that's 800 packs multiplied by 5. That's just 4k on sigil if you buy basically €5 pack. That's already 4k just for the sigil. I'm not talking about the affinity, I'm not talking about the books, I'm not talking about the research time. So and that's only Romulus. So if you accumulate all expert, it might be 10k to max out. So is it worth it? That's a very good question, and we'll kind of answer that today. Understand as well that Romulus, all the stats it give you, these ones, the one that we saw on the tree when you unlock him level 100, and all of the skills are, these 2 are additive. That was confirmed by VIP customer support to some of my, some of my colleagues, some of my, alliance members that have access to VIP support. It was confirmed by one community manager that these are meant to be additive. While the wording makes it look like it's multiplicative, because all the other percentages in the game with that wording with by without the plus and a percentage are multiplicative. These are additive. So if you look at these, it's not by without a plus, and that's plus. So if you have 1,000 stats, additive mean 1,000 4.8, right? If it was multiplicative, it would be 1,048 if it was multiplicative. So that's basically what it means, the difference between additive and multiplicative. So that's huge. So whales, they start to have, on terms of defense and attack, they start to have 3,000 of that. They have 2,000 of health and lethality. So if you do 10, at the best, it goes to 10%. If it's additive, it's 2010. If it's multiplicative, it's 2200, right? So that's a big difference for a well. It's 190% difference between additive and multiplicative if you have, if you are well and you have 2000%. So it's huge, huge, huge. But all of these have been confirmed as additive. So that's one of the challenge. So it makes Romulus very expensive, not that good, because 10% health, 10% lethality, 10% attack, 10% defense, additive for thousands of euros, you will get a lot more no matter wherever you put that money. Either you put it in shift gear, either you put it in charms, either you put it in research if you're not maxed out yet in this area, right? If you are one of the top whales and that's the only thing you have to max, and you have the money, why not? But if you did not finish your charms, you will get a lot more for your money with charms. If you did not finish your pets, you will get a lot more for your money by doing pets. Even shift gear, you will get a lot more. So that's really an important message I wanted to tell you, and that's kind of why it's very surprising to me that a new game mode that could be very exciting for whales and spenders is actually not. Because these two skills are additive, and that's not good for whales, because, you know, that's peanuts for a whale. 10% health, 10% lethality out of 2.5k is very little. And, you know, when you fight at a very high level, and, you know, that could make a tiny bit of difference, because that's additive, but, you know, the pets are multiplicative, plus the buff are multiplicative, so your 10% here, they turn to be 12% when you have a buff active, and with the pet active, they turn to 13%, so, okay, it's not just 10, it's 13% at the end of the day for a whale, something like that, but that's still peanuts. So I followed a lot, you know, of conversation on Discord, talked to some of the whales in my state. What do they consider doing? They're not gonna do these skills a lot. They're not gonna spend a lot of money on Romulus, and unless you are like the best rally leaders and you have everything else maxed, I don't think you should as well. What they will do is focus on this skill. This skill is increasing rally capacity by 5,000 every level, and you have 20 levels. So you will be able to get somewhere here. Like, one of the issue with the experts is that to level up that one, you will need to level up affinity. So you will need to go through that. So that's quite a lot of sigil and affinity, as we saw. So that's a lot. And as well, it requires you to have certain level of other skills, or a total amount of certain skills. While I did not unlock it myself, I'm pretty sure that you cannot just level that one to level 20 without leveling anything else. So I'm assuming that for most whales, you will be, you know, as always, you will be able to get to the middle range of the skill. You will be able to get here for a decent amount of money. You will start to get here. It's going to be very expensive. Getting here is going to be very expensive. But at the same time, you know, 50k troops, 60k troops, 70k troops, if you can get here for not that much, that will make a big difference. You know, that's a third of a joiner buffed. You know, our marches are 200k, 220k right now. Fully buffed for a joiner, so it's a third of a joiner, so it's a third of a player more in your rally. So, you know, that could be a lot. And if you're against someone that do not have it, and you have it, you have a big advantage. But that's kind of the bottom line for Romulus. You know, these are not really interesting, of course, for whales. These are additive, so that's a bit of a deception and a bummer. I'm hoping they either change the wording, so we are 100% clear, and moving forward in the game, we know when it's by plus a percentage, it's multiplicative. It's not confusing anymore, because if they leave it that way, we will never know in advance. We'll always have to test. And you know, that's kind of not always easy when it requires thousands of euros to, at least 100 of euros to unlock that. So yeah, that kind of the state of Romulus. So, you know, it really depends on your level of spending, but again, if you are a medium spender, if you are not the main rally leader, I would not stress too much about Romulus. Maybe you spend, you know, 100 euro, 200 euro, 300 euro, depending on what you can. You know, if you spend 1,000 a month, 300 is not that much. If you spend 500 a month, you might not want to spend 500 on Romulus. It's probably not worth it compared to anything else, because you could have, you know, that's a bit more deployment capacity as well, which is linked to these levels. So that's always good if you have the highest troops and the highest, you know, if you have FC10, T11, for example, If there are more FC10 11 in the rally, it's as well better. So if your best player have a bit of this level, that's gonna help you a bit. So, you know, unlocking some level, investing a tiny bit in Romulus makes sense, either for that, to get some easy 80 points here, 80 points here, and then after that, the diminishing return is huge on Romulus for now. Is really, really huge and probably is not worth it unless, again, you are a huge spender. So that's kind of the bottom line. I know many of you are not whales watching. You have some whales in your alliance and they probably don't know what to do. Like, you will be surprised the amount of whales that don't really take the time to understand the game because they spend the money and they can afford many things. And if you look closely at many accounts of many whales, and you know, I'm using many two times and I'm really mean it, is like, they wasted a shit ton of money, and excuse me for my French, but they really did not put their money where it's at. I'm not saying my account is perfect, but when I look at my stat and I compare it to many other spenders that spend more than me, I'm, you know, either close to them or as much at them, because they did a lot of chief gear very soon, and that's not good. Like, they made many mistakes with the way they spend. They purchased the wrong pack, they purchased the wrong things. And that, you know, that's 100 or 1,000 of euros wasted. So I hope it helps. Please share it with your rally leaders. They can come to me with their question. That's okay. That's really cool. No problem with that. They can come on Discord as well, so everyone learn. You know, a public question is a chance for someone else to read it. So don't hesitate to post on Discord, to ask questions in the guide section for the experts, so everyone has a chance to read it. But that's it for me today. I'll see you tomorrow for Sunfire Castle, the local one. On stream. I see you tomorrow then. Bye bye. Cheers.